everyone. I believe I was having some difficulties with my other headset. Welcome to this month's webinar. The topic is getting started with the Fluteconnect app. My name is Callie Bubb, and I am a Tier 3 support specialist. Just some housekeeping items before we get started. All phones will be muted during the entire presentation. But feel free to type in any questions into the question section, and I will be able to answer those all at the end. Please keep the questions limited to the topic of today's webinar. And as always, we record our webinars and they are uploaded to our Excelix website in the next few days. So this is the website down below. I will also have this under the question slide as well. So at the end of the webinar, this link will be there too. Here today is today's webinar outline. So we'll start by going over how to install the Fluteconnect mobile app, how to create a new Fluteconnect account. We'll have an overview of the Fluteconnect mobile app, how Fluteconnect stores your data, and we'll do a quick walkthrough of how to connect your Fluteconnect mobile app to a tool. Okay, so let's get started with how to install the mobile app. So first you'll want to review our list of supported phone models just to ensure that your phone or tablet, whatever you are going to use with the Fluteconnect app, is supported. So we have a large list of supported devices. So you can see based if you use an Android or an iOS device, they're all listed here. So based on your device type or model, you'll want to go to the Google Play Store or the App Store, search for Fluteconnect, and then you can download the app. You can also go to our Fluteconnect website on your mobile device, and if you scroll down to the bottom, there is a section that says software, and it has the download iOS app and the download Android app links. Next, let's go over how to create a Fluteconnect account. So once you download the app, you'll be taken to this home screen or login screen. Below where you put in your email and password, we have a few different options. So the first one, we'll go over the create account. So you'll enter in your first and last name, your email address, and the password, and then you can select the country. It's important that your specific email that you are creating the account with it's not already in our system. So if you do receive a message that that email is already created with an account and you don't remember the password, you can click the forgot password link, or you can contact our support team and we can reset your password. Our password requirements, you do have to enter a password that is 8 or more characters. You will need an uppercase character and at least one special character. We have a new option. Down below, you can sign in with your Apple ID or your Google account. So you will have to be signed into your Apple account or your Gmail Google account in order to use this. So this new option will automatically create an account for you with what we call single sign-on. So you would click these options instead of entering in your email and password, and it will automatically sign you in. And we also have what we call guest access. So if you do not want to create an account with your email and password, you can use guest access. And this will give you the ability to basically log in and capture measurements with your specific tools. So you can save the measurements on your phone. And if you do feel like you would like to create an account later on, you can link those specific measurements once you create the account. So if you use the guest access, you will see on the menu section that there is a lock on the dashboard, assets, work orders, team, and report section. So you can click to the home option, measurements, and then our resource center and settings. Okay, so now let's go into our Fluke Connect mobile app overview. So when you first log in, you are taken to this home page. The first section is the connect and capture measurements. So this is where you would come if you have a Wi-Fi or Bluetooth enabled tool and you would like to upload measurements. Next is setup logging or monitoring. So this is if you have one of our condition monitoring tools. This is where you would be able to view your active sessions, download a session. So if you had a current session or a saved session, you'd be able to download that data. And you would click this section here to go through the setup process for whichever tool you have. Next, we have the My Work Orders. So these are any work orders that are assigned to your specific account, and you'll have a count for each specific status. So if you have open, in progress, and completed work orders, you'll see the numbers here. You can also click this section and it will take you to the work orders section. Up in the top left, this is our menu button. So this will open up the side panel, so then you can go to the different sections of the app. And in the upper right-hand corner, if you do have any alarm or alert notifications from any of our condition monitoring tools, you would see that you'd be able to click the number here, and then it would take you to the alerts and alarms. So let's go over the connect and capture measurements. So if you click the section here, it will take you to the capture screen. So if you do have any Wi-Fi or Bluetooth enabled tools, it will scan for those specific tools, and then you would be able to click connect for that specific model. You can also take a picture from your camera. You can add a work order. The Fluke Connect icon, that's on the default screen that you are taken to. So that's just this screen here where it's scanning for the tools, and then it will list out your tool information down below. You can link a specific measurement to a work order, and you can also link to an asset from the screen. If you do click this View Handheld Supported Devices, that will take you to a screen like this, and it will list out all of our different Fluke Connect tools. Next, we have the setup, logging, or monitoring section. So note this is a specific section for our condition monitoring tools. And with those, the condition monitoring subscription is required. So if we click the setup, logging, or monitoring, it will take us to this next screen where we can select the specific tool that we're setting up the session for. So each section will take you through the process, and you can go through each screen. So it does show you how to complete the setup process for each specific tool. You can also click the download sessions, and that's where you can share the data in an Excel format to yourself or other users with an email address if you need to share that information. If you have any active monitoring sessions in progress, you would see that this is currently grayed out, but if I did have any active sessions in this account, it would be a little darker font, and we would be able to see the live data from the specific devices that I do have set up in my account. Next, we have the My Work Order section. So we can click this bar here, and it will take you to the My Work Orders tab. So in Work Orders, we do have the My Work Orders. So this is specific to the account that's logged in, or you can go to the All Work Orders, and that will list out all work orders for this specific team. So you can scroll through. If you click this icon here, you'd be able to change the sort, and you can also filter by the status, priority, and type fields. If we click this menu button in the upper left corner, it will open up our menu screen. So first we have the home screen, so that would just take you to that first screen where it has the connect and capture measurements up at the top. Next we have dashboards, so that is specific to our condition monitoring tools. Next we have measurements, assets, work orders, our team tab, reports, resource center, and our settings. Also down below, you can click the give feedback, and that will send an email to our team as well. This is also where you can come to sign out of your Fluke Connect account. So this is the dashboard view if you do have our condition monitoring tools. So you can view the recent alarms and activities for those specific assets. You can see the asset health status in this instrument view based on the status of the asset. So whether it triggered an alarm and changed the status, or you went in and manually changed the status of the asset, it would be listed here based on the specific color. And you can also see the health trend. Next, we'll go over the measurements tab. So if you click into your measurements, you can view your completed sessions or active sessions for condition monitoring tools. If you continue to scroll down below, this will list out all of your different measurements, whether you have measurements saved from a vibration meter or a thermal imaging camera, they would all be listed here. You can click the icon here, and that's where you'd be able to filter and sort by different options. When you click into a specific measurement, It will take you to this screen here, and you can select an asset. So you're assigning this measurement to a specific asset or a test point. You can assign it to a specific work order. You can add additional notes and also a voice note. So now let me bring up my quick video demonstration of measurements. Okay, so if we start from the home screen, we'll click the menu option and then measurements. So we can view our completed sessions, our active sessions. If we click the button here, this button here, that's where we can go to sort and filter. So we can sort by the date, asset, or work order, and then we can filter based on the specific measurement that is captured. So if you only want to see thermal images or the 3-phase monitoring measurements, you can select that. So then we can go down and scroll. If we click into the asset, this is where we can change or click into the measurement, that's where you can change the asset and assign it to a specific work order. If we click that asset section, it will take us through our asset groups and our asset records. So I clicked into the ungrouped assets folder, and this is my list of assets. I can select my specific asset, and then it will update on that specific measurement. I can also select the work order line, and then it will take us to our work order section, and we can select a specific work order. You'll see up at the top that there is a number flashing. So that just means that we have one measurement that is being synced up to our Fluke Connect cloud. Next, we have our assets section. So this allows users to create asset groups, which are basically folders. So within an asset group, we can create subgroups or additional folders, or we can just go ahead and start creating new assets down below. So this is a nice way that users are able to organize their specific assets. So if you have multiple buildings or different sites, you can create an asset group based on the site, the department, location, however you would like to set it up. Definitely feel free, whatever makes sense to you. Once you click into a specific asset, you can see that there's different tabs up at the top. So we have the info tab, the status, and then the analysis. So the info tab, that will give you all of the asset information. So the asset description, if there's any test points, things like that. The status, so this is where you would come, it would show any specific condition monitoring sessions down below, and you can also change the status value here. So right now we have it set to good, and it shows a green color. Analysis, this is where any saved measurements would be listed. So if a specific thermal image is assigned to this refrigerator, it will be listed under the analysis tab. Okay, let me pull up my video. Okay, so if we select our asset section, here's my asset groups. These are my ungrouped assets. So once I click into the asset, I'm taken to the info tab so we can see the specific group that this asset is in. My asset name is the asset description. If you want to enter in an asset ID, you can, and also an asset type. The asset type is a pre-populated list that you are able to select. If you have any specific images, you can enter those into the image section. Components and test points. So if this mini split has a specific motor, things like that, we can create separate test points. So they will be linked to this asset. And if we have any alarms or any specific settings that we want to enter in, we can do that down below. If we go to the status tab, we can see the current status, if there's any active sessions, if there's any alarms, and we can see the asset history. So if we've changed the status on this asset, that will be listed down below. And here's the analysis. So we can click the View Save Data, or we can click on the thermal image icon here, and that will take us to a graph. So here it will list out all of our thermal images that are assigned to this specific asset. So we can see the graph down below, and we can see the measurement information here. So we can trigger the center point, min, and max. If we click the Save Data, this will display all of the measurements in this scroll view. We can also click Share and add data. So if we need to update the specific measurements that we already have in the account, they're just not linked to this specific asset, we can do that here. And if we need to share this specific asset to a specific individual, we can do that with the share option. If we click the three dots in the upper right-hand corner, we can edit the asset information. So that would be changing the asset name, asset ID, and asset type. We can also create an asset report, or we can add this to an existing report, and we can also delete. So if I want to add a component or a test point, I can click this plus button here. So you just have to click on the components and test point row, and then you can click the plus. That will open up this screen, and we can give the component a name, and if we need to, we can add an image. A test point can have a test point on itself. So if we click the three dots here, we can edit the test point information or create a new test point. So when we click the three dots, we can add the subcomponent, edit, and delete. So you'll see here on the mini split, we have test point 1 and we have point 1A. If we need to create a new asset group, we can click the three dots in the upper right-hand side, and we can create an asset. So that would not be grouped in any specific folder, or we can create the asset group. So it will ask you to enter in the group name. And now we can create new assets. So we can click Add Asset Group if we want to create subfolders, or we can click the Add Asset here or the plus option here. So if I want to create a new asset, I'll just enter in the asset name, the asset ID, select my asset type. From here, I can add an image, a test point or a component. I can set the status, and now my asset is created. So if I click into my new asset that I created, you'll see that there are 2 test points. And if I click that down arrow, it will open up and show me my test point names. Next, we have the work order section. So if we click the 3 dots in the upper right-hand side, we can add a new work order. If we click into a work order, it will give us the work order details. And we do have the option to view the activity stream and notes. So we can see that information here. So when a status has changed, if you enter in any notes while you're completing the work order, they would all be listed here. Okay, so if I click my menu button and then go to work orders, we can click add new work order, enter in the work order information, so the title and the description. The requester does default to the current user. We can change the priority, the work order type, and say when we think that this is going to be completed. And I just assigned it to my Bootcamp 2 user. And I assign the specific date for the assignment as today. Okay, so here's my new work order and it is assigned to my user, so it will display under the My Work Order section. So if I click into the work order, I can see all of the record details. The current status is open. And if I scroll down to the bottom, I can click Start Work Order. So it will display any measurements that I do have assigned to this work order. So it does say right now that I currently do not have any measurements or notes. So because I started the work order, the status changed to in progress. I can capture measurements, manually enter in any specific measurements, or I can click Add Measurements from the 3 dots in the upper right-hand side, and that will take me to all of my measurements that are currently saved in my account. So I can select my specific measurements and then click Add. And now you'll see that there is 1 measurement on this specific work order. I can change my status to closed. And now you'll see under the View Activity and Notes that there is a new status for that status change. You can also duplicate or delete the work order from this screen as well. Next, we have our team tab. So this is important, especially if you are the administrator of your team. So this is where you would come and see anybody that is associated to your account. So if you go to the team tab, it will take you to this screen here. You can see any specific licenses that you do have applied to your account. So if you do have any of our condition monitoring tools, you'd see the licenses here. If you have our Fluke Connect asset subscription, you'd also be able to see that here. So if we click the My Team up at the top, that will take us to this section here. So you can see My Team and any pending invites. So you can see the current account has the free asset trial. We can also click Invite, and that is where you can enter in one or more emails, and you can invite those specific individuals to your team. So they would be able to see your assets, measurements, and if you have any active monitoring sessions, they would be able to view that information if they did have one of the condition monitoring licenses applied to their account. Okay, so we'll want to click that Team tab. If we click My Team, we can see the current users. If I did have additional licenses in this account, I would be able to change the license. So right now they have the asset free trial. So any licenses would be listed down below, and you would be able to select them, and then the license would be applied. We can also click that invite button down below, and that's how we would invite any additional users to our specific team. Users are sent an email, and they do have to accept the invitation. So if you do have any pending users that have not accepted the invite yet, they would be listed under the pending section. So it does have to be a true email address for them to be invited to your team. Next, we'll go over reports. So users are able to create a thermal image, basic, and asset report. So the thermal image report, you can add the TI measurements and review all of the analysis that is captured when you save those measurements from the camera to your Fluteconnect app. A basic report, so that's where a user would be able to add any type of measurements to the report, and you'd be able to see the asset information and any notes. An asset report, this is where you would be able to add specific asset records to a report and then view the asset information and all of their measurement data. Okay, so if we go to the menu button and then reports, you can scroll through the different reports that you have, or you can click the create button in the upper right-hand side, and then you can select your report type. So if I want to create a report with my thermal images, I'd select that, click this top option here, and it will display all saved measurements that are thermal images. You can select multiple if needed, and then click Add. You can also remove them, change the ordering. We can edit the cover page if you want to include The cover page, table of contents, and the report summary, you can turn those on and off. We can change the layout of the page and also the page size. So if I want to enter in my cover page information, we can enter in the company name. If you have a company logo and you want to upload that to be included, you can. Our report title, and if you have a subtitle. And we can enter in additional information and the footer. So let's go ahead and save. If we click the three dots on the right-hand side of each report, that's where we can edit and delete the report. If we click into the report, that's where we can view the information. So here we can see all of the thermal image information, the marker, and also the asset. We can download or share this report with this button in the bottom left-hand side. And if you click the pencil, we can edit the report. Okay. So this is just a quick video of our different report types. So this is the thermal image report that we just created in the last video. So again, this includes the image information and the marker. Our basic report. So again, you can select different measurements and it will include your asset information. So that's what the basic info is, and any notes on that specific measurement. So if there are no notes, it will only display that basic info section. And then we have the asset report. So this, you select the specific asset that you want to display, and then it will show the different measurements down below. Next, we have our resource center. So this top item, you can click to the next section and it will show you how to connect to a tool, create an asset, and save a measurement to an asset. You'll also see our technical support contact information down below as well. So if we go to our resource center and the top option, so if we scroll down to the bottom, this just gives us a quick little glance. And at the bottom here, you can click connect a tool, create an asset, save a measurement to an asset, and it will walk you through the app, all the different steps that you need to take to do that specific action. So it will say that you need to tap on the main navigation menu button to start. So it will show you all the different steps that you need to take on the mobile app. Last, we have the settings section. So this will show you what the email address is for the account and also the name of this specific account. We can change the sensor to view for the 3-phase power monitor, so you can turn that on or off. We can change the temperature unit to Celsius or Fahrenheit. You can view the end user license agreement or the privacy policy. And also very important is the current version of the app that your mobile device has. Next, let's go over how Fluke Connect stores your data. So Fluke Connect will store your data in the Fluke Connect cloud. And this gives you the ability to view the data in the mobile app, the web app, and the desktop app. So depending on what type of measurements you do have, you'd be able to see it in any of the 3 apps that we do have. And it's very important to note that only the individuals that will have access to your account or your team would be able to view your data. Only administrators are able to invite other members to your specific team. All right, so now let's go over the last section, how to connect the Fluke Connect mobile app to a tool. So we do have different types. So we have the Bluetooth enabled tools and we have Wi-Fi enabled tools. So Bluetooth, we have a clamp meter, digital multimeter, vibration meter, installation tester, and an installation tester. For Wi-Fi tools, we have a power logger, power quality analyzer, our list of thermal imagers, and a scope meter. So first, we want to make sure that our tool has the Bluetooth or Wi-Fi enabled. So depending on what tool you have, you want to make sure that you confirm, whichever one is turned on. Then we'll want to log into our Fluke Connect mobile app. For our Wi-Fi specific tools, we'll go to the settings in our mobile device. We'll go to Wi-Fi, and then we'll want to select our specific Wi-Fi network from that tool. Then we'll navigate back to the mobile app and we'll click the Connect and Capture Measurements. And then we can find our tool in the list and we can click that Connect button. So here is my thermal imager. So I check the settings to make sure that the Wi-Fi is enabled for my Fluke Connect account. So on my phone, I went to my Wi-Fi settings and you'll see down below I have Fluke-Camera. Depending on what type of device you have, it might be slightly different. It might include the serial number of the specific device. Then I'll go back to the Fluke Connect app. And you'll see here, once I selected that Fluke camera on my Wi-Fi, now I can connect to the specific tool. So once I click connect, I see a screen like this where I can capture measurements. So if you are taking live measurements, I can click save on the specific camera, and that will save the measurement to my Fluke Connect account. You can also click this little down arrow option, and that's where we can download saved measurements that are already on the camera. So I can download all images, I can select the specific ones, or I can click cancel. So if I click the select images to download, it will take me to a screen like this where I can check off the specific measurements, and then I can click download. Once they're downloaded, it will take you to the measurement screen here, and this is where I can assign this specific measurement to an asset. Okay, let me just grab my videos. Okay, so I go to the capture. Also from this screen, we can capture an image or a photo right from your camera of your mobile device. We can create a new work order. This icon here is the current screen where we're looking for the different tools. I can link my measurement to a specific work order that's already created. And then I can also link to a specific asset. So here it goes to the camera on your mobile device. I can manually enter in a measurement and select the specific units. So that's a manual entry. I can link to a specific work order, or I can assign to a specific asset. So this is a video of connecting to an 805 vibration meter. So this is a Bluetooth enabled tool. So you'll see here it is listed in the middle. So it says Fluke 805 FC. So I want to click connect. And on this specific tool, it is connected to Bluetooth automatically. So you do have to check that in the settings. There is no button like you'll see on some of our other tools. So if we see this green light here, we know that our measurement is being captured, and we can see the information back on our tablet. Okay, so we want to save. And now if we go back to our tablet, it produces our measurement details. So from here, we did have an asset selected on the 805, but you can change it from here as well. And we can also assign to a work order, and we can add any additional notes. This is the process with a thermal camera. So you want to make sure that you're logged into the app. We go on to our camera. This specific camera, we go to F2 to open up the menu, and then we want to find Fluke Connect. We want to make sure that the Wi-Fi is turned on. Then we'll go back to the mobile device and go to the settings to select the camera under our Wi-Fi network. So this one is also called Fluke Camera. So it just depends on what you have set up on the camera. It might include the device model or the serial number of the device. Okay, so we confirm that it is now connected to the camera. And if we go back to connect and capture measurements, now we can connect to this specific camera. Now this one, it does show a live view on the tablet. So just depending on what camera you have, it will display it. So we click save on the camera, and that will save the measurement on our Fluke Connect account. So here we can select the specific asset, assign it to a work order, and add any additional notes. Again, we can click the download button and we can download all of the images on the camera, select these specific images as well. Next, I have a digital multimeter. So this is a Bluetooth tool with the IR3000. So we can see the IR3000 on the tablet, and we'll click connect. And we can see the live measurements coming in. This, we do have the graph option. And we can click save down at the bottom, and that will save the measurements. Okay, here's our measurement. Again, we can assign to an asset or a work order and enter in any notes. All right, one last video. This is a Bluetooth enabled tool, and this is a K-type thermometer. Okay, so we want to turn on the device, and this has a Bluetooth button right here. So it has the Fluteconnect icon or logo. So we'll want to make sure that the Bluetooth is turned on our tablet. You'll want to make sure that we click the icon to make sure the Bluetooth is going through. And then we can click connect. We can see the live measurement coming through. We can see the tool information, and we can change the interval and duration. And we also have the graph option here. Okay, we can click save, and that will save the measurement to our Fluteconnect account. Okay, so that is the end of today's webinar. So like I said in the beginning, we do upload our monthly webinars to our quick start page. So this is the link to our Excelix website. So this will be listed under the handheld tools section. So if you do have any questions, feel free to enter those into the question box. I do have one question already. How much is the cost for a license for the asset and work order subscription? So that is $289 per user per year. So I'll just put myself on mute and answer additional questions. But thank you everybody for joining today. I hope you enjoyed the webinar and learned about our Fluteconnect app. Thank you everybody for joining, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.